live Gophers postcast. Iowa gives Minnesota the absolute ass whooping 41-3. We're going to dive into all the thoughts. We've got questions from the listeners. We're ripping off the band-aid. We're getting real here. Gophers postcast right here on the Gopher Broke podcast. What up? You're listening to the live Gophers postcast. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter. If you want your comments to be featured on the show, you're going to have to go over to YouTube for now because the Twitter feature don't be working with Riverside playing nice, but also things that don't play nice today. That is the Golden Gophers football team. I don't know. I can't even say they showed up to Kinnick because they didn't show up. They lost today 41-3. But Tristan, I'm going to let you start this because I'm probably going to say some things that might get my credential pulled from going to the press box for future games. So you get to start with this one. What are the thoughts coming off this beatdown?
Well, here's the thing. Iowa, this is their Super Bowl. I mean, they look forward to this game all year, and to us, it's just another game. And so, we played our Super Bowl last week against Nebraska. We think about Nebraska every year, and that's our big game. So they're lucky they got us in this letdown spot because that's all we game plan for. We literally every game chant, we hate Nebraska.
Yeah.
And so that should make it easier for the folks at home because this is Iowa's Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, for those who don't understand, especially the Iowa fans that find this one, Nebraska fans were just all up on this show's mentions talking about Nebraska being our Super Bowl when nobody cares about Nebraska. They care more about Iowa, which makes this loss even more painful. And I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off. This game was a waste of time. It was a waste of time for the fan base. It was a waste of time for Iowa. It was a waste of time for the CBS TV crews. It was a waste of time for the refs. This game was an embarrassment that the Gophers, they came out and they played exactly how they are. They acted like little brother in this game. And I don't want to say that as a Minnesota fan, but they did. That's how they came out, and they acted like this game was just another game. And they played careless, and they played scared. And Iowa played like they actually cared and wanted to dominate this rivalry like they have for many years now. But the thing is, I was going to stop caring about this game if Minnesota can't get real and start to show up for these games. We've played in close ones, but Iowa consistently beats us. And this one was probably the cherry on top for them. This is probably one of Coach Fleck's worst games in his tenure here at Minnesota. You lost to Iowa by 1 point less than you lost to the number one team in the entire country. And Iowa is a good team. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying anything like that. They have an elite offensive line. They have multiple guys that can run the ball, but they are not 41-3 better than you. They played Rutgers tight. They played other opponents that you have played tight, but then you came out and you acted like stuff was sweet, and it wasn't, and Iowa showed you that from start to finish. How can we move forward from this? How can we find hope from this game? Because I know a lot of Gopher fans will be like, oh, we're not going to win another game for the rest of the season, and I don't think that's true. But I'm just a little shocked by how much night and day difference there is between home games for this Gopher team and away games for this Gophers team.
Yeah, I've never seen a loss this bad or this ugly. This feels so bad right now. It feels like a full reset. It's a full reset game. You have to go back to the drawing board. I think you texted me too about the pro style offense. You might have to just scrap that. You got to go back to absolute basics. Can we run a power? Can we run just a simple power run and get 3 yards on a carry? There's no excuses either. It was front to back. Everyone was bad. First quarter, they come out, tackles are missed immediately. It was so bad. Nobody can just wrap up and make a tackle. You have to go to fundamental football. Like there's no, I don't know what else you do after a loss like this. You have to literally go back to the drawing board. There's no moving. Like we we can't look towards the future. We have to just sit down and be like, okay, how do we get back to basics?
Yeah, we got a message from an Iowa fan that says they didn't show up because Iowa didn't let them, and he's right. I mean, Iowa played from start to finish in every single facet of this game. They outclassed them with a rushing touchdown, with a field goal, with a pick six, with a passing touchdown, with a punt return touchdown. The Gophers literally sucked in every single capacity of this game, and Drake Lindsey had his worst game by far. Accuracy all over the place, deer in the headlights at times. It didn't like even the Ohio State game, he didn't look like he lost his composure. He didn't look like he was shook. In this game, I did not recognize Drake Lindsey, and that was disheartening for me. I still love all the upside in the future that we have with Drake Lindsey, but this game was a tough one. 3 interceptions, all at least 2 of them were really bad, forced plays, trying to play hero ball. He looked like a freshman in this one. And it's hard to watch. It wasn't just Drake Lindsey. We couldn't get any run game. The offensive line looked like they were trying to get someone hurt out there. I mean, the defense started horribly. I don't know what to tell you. There's literally no little glimpses of, oh, but this was good. Oh, but this was okay.
Nothing.
No, none of it was. None of it was.
And I'll find a positive in something. I will find a positive in something. But there was nothing. This whole game, start to finish, was bad. The 3 points we put on the board were horrible. Why kick a field goal? Right. You gotta go. Like you have to go. Like it's so much worse to kick that field goal than to just get stopped on 4th. I'm fine with that. Like if we're gonna go down, we're gonna go down. Don't kick a sad field goal to just stop a shutout.
No, I feel you 100%. I mean, it's the beginning of the 4th quarter. You're in the red zone. It's 4th down and like 5, I think. I'm just pulling that off the cuff. But it was like to the goal line, it was like 12 yards or something like that. It's like at that point, you're down 34-0. Go for it. And if you're not going to, if you're going to be passive, you're going to kick the field goal, you are telling everybody in America, including the other sideline, we're done. This game's over. Exactly. So then why not pull your starters? Why leave those guys on the field? And then look, John Nestor, who's coming back from an injury, gets hurt, and it didn't look good. He could not put weight on his leg. The only reason that man stayed on the field and they didn't cart him off or anything like that is because he wanted to say, like, show love to his boys from his old program because this was his time to come back home and things like that. That's the only reason. Otherwise, I bet you he gets carted off. He's in the training room for the rest of the game. But why keep playing your starters in that point? If you're going to be passive and kick the field goal, which is the difference between these two coaches. Look, Kirk Ferentz will play ugly football. He will play and win however he has to. If it has to be a rock fight, it'll be a rock fight. If he can run the score up, he'll run the score up. But the thing is, he's always going to play like we run this. We do this. We do what we do fundamentally sound, and that's how it works. Whereas PJ, I feel like there's so many moments in the bigger games when we play against Iowa, when we play against a blue blood like an Ohio State or in Michigan, it's like, well, strategically, if we do this or if we run the clock here or it's like overthinking the game. Just play the freaking game. Like, I'm just so fed up with these moments against the programs that you should at least come and compete. I don't even I'm mad that we lost, sure, but we got blown out. And that is what is most frustrating about this one.
Yeah, it was so ugly. Coming out of halftime, I'm like, okay, you got to try to get some sort of run game. You have to try to run the ball. And I know we couldn't get no push. Darius Taylor's out, but nothing was moving. But at the same time, these the wide receiver, the running back screens on 3rd and long, it's just like, what are we doing here? Like, we don't have to do all this. It was overthinking. It was overthinking. Just like you said, we have to try to get back to some sort of basic offense.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
not to take away. And also, we're talking down about the Gophers so bad as if Iowa didn't. Iowa looked so good. Iowa looked so good. They played very, very well.
He was like, "Oh, you think I can't throw? Just because I don't throw for 200 yards doesn't mean I won't give you this business." That's what
Oh,
their quote is. Like. He
absolutely.
was like, "I won that Walter Payton Award for a reason. I won a Natty for a reason. I don't care if I have all the stats. I'm gonna get the dub." That's all that dude cares about, and respect to him. Like Gronowski was
Absolutely.
like, "I don't. I get it done." That's how he played out there. Now, I think this is probably one of the worst losses in PJ Fleck's
Hmm.
career, but also in his Minnesota tenure here. And I am curious. You brought up that Darius Taylor didn't play. He played one snap. The first snap of the game, they ran the ball to him, and then he didn't play another one. And everybody was like, kind of, even the announcers on the game were like, "What is going on? Like, why
Hated those
aren't we
announcers, by the
seeing him?"
way. Hated
Huh?
them.
Oh
Hated
yeah,
those
that's
announcers.
fine. But I mean, clearly something happened during the week or something that was an injury because nothing looked bad on that play, even like so.
No.
I don't know where the injury if it happened earlier, but if it did, why even put him out there on the first one then? Why make it look like, oh yeah, we got our RB1 who just went off last week to play him one snap for 1 yard and then be like, okay, he's done. Like it just there's so many confusing points with this Gophers team that I do not understand. And it comes from the players in this game. It looks like they don't
Oh
have
yeah.
any fight. It looks like they don't have any will to go out there and like, this is a rivalry game. We got to show up and show out. It comes from the coaches and like the weird play calls, the lack of adjustments. I had messaged Tristan in this game, and I know he brought it up a little earlier, but I was like, look, I know Quincy Avery and others talk about our offensive play style with our coordinator is the most pro style offense in college football. And I agree with him. Like there's tons of quarterback control checks at the line and things like that. But obviously that is not working for this team right now. That we have a quarterback that can see it and do it and change it and whatnot. But clearly it takes too long to develop. Clearly it's not giving other defenses enough pressure or enough like stress that it's like the Gophers offense isn't high flying. So it's like, okay, you know what? It might be the most pro style, but it's not working. So let's do something that's more college. Let's do something that is going to help us move the field at this point because it ain't it right now. And I love the fact that it can maybe show potential for a guy like Max Brosmer or show NFL potential for a guy like Drake Lindsey. But like, let's build up to it then. If it's not working, start to peel it back. You do that on defense, supposedly. If complex concepts don't work, we start to go back to the basics and make it more simple and make things more simplified so that way you can play faster. Why aren't we doing that on offense?
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I can't help but feel like there's so much emotional immaturity with the team that it feels like it happens in college football. Like there's letdown spots, but you can't have a letdown after every single win. Like every time you show glimpses of, wow, this team could be really good. Look at how solid this defense is. Look at how solid this offense is. You can't take that as your Super Bowl. You can't be like, wow, it's just going to be like this when we wake up tomorrow. You have to find a way to stay level in that mentally because today it looked like they came out like this is going to be a breeze. This is going to be another Big Ten game. Somehow we'll come out on top by 3. Like, at the end of the day, it'll all figure itself out. And that's just not how it works. So
Yeah.
that was a lot to me. It looked like nobody showed up emotionally ready. Like we beat a Nebraska team that is just a Nebraska team, turns out. So it just seems like we did think like we're gonna be able to walk through this one.
Yeah, we have a couple comments that have come through talking about recruitment. This kills recruitment. This was a big worry for recruitment. And I agree. It definitely can leave a foul taste, but there's so many kids out there nowadays that are like, I'm the difference. I'm the one that's going to fix
Hmm.
it and things like that. So I don't know how much I worry about the recruitment. I know that a lot of this class has
There's
been kind of bought in for the most part, and it'll be about how you respond. If you lose the rest of your games for the season, then I'm starting to worry about recruitment. But if you go
yeah,
and you get a good dub against Michigan State, you show some sort of fight, which I am not counting on against Oregon. And then if you can close out with wins
oh,
and then
brother.
Northwestern and Wisconsin, recruitment isn't going to be thinking about this one game. They're going to be thinking about how I can be the difference against Iowa. There are a lot of kids that are like, I'm that dude and I'm the one who flip it. So this one loss doesn't make me worried about recruitment per se. Now, if they lose the rest of their games, yes, I would be. I'd be worried about recruitment and what's going on. But this one right here, I think it's still TBD on that one.
I agree with you 100%. There's dudes watch this and be like, yeah, I kind of hate Iowa too. Like, this. I understand why we hate Iowa. Like, I want to be a part of this. So,
Yeah, and now I'm going to pull up some questions from some of the people I posted at halftime and said, you know what, we want your questions for the show. Now, we're not going to get through all of them because there are a bunch of people that started throwing things. I mean, I love that Darren Wolfison at KSTP. At KSTP, wow, we're trying to talk too fast right now. Doogie, he said, Droogie has given up, just took off on his bike to meet his friends and play outdoor hoops before it gets dark. Did he choose wisely? I would say he, in fact, chose
yeah.
wisely. He saved
Mm-hmm.
himself a lot of time in this one, a lot of time.
Yeah.
Uh, another immediate member, Ahmad Hicks, said, will they ever be elite? Look, this is a tough question. But here's what I'm going to say. If we play passive and we play conservative, which is the approach that this staff has taken in a lot of the Iowa matchups, the Michigan matchups, the Ohio State matchups, and what have you, if we play that style, we're not going to be elite. This Minnesota team will not see a college football playoff if they continue to play passive and conservative against those playoff type contenders. If you play that style, you're never going to win that. Now, 2019 is the last time I remember this team going after it. That's the last time I remember a team like I wasn't thinking, ooh, are they going to be passive? Ooh, are they going to kick a field goal? Ooh, are they going to go for it? I was like, no, they're doing it. They're going.
Yep.
They're doing like every time the 2019 team was on the field, I was like, he believes in this team. He's going to do it. He's going to go for it. The defense is going to shut it down here. So I get why we're punting. I understood every reason in that season. Since then, since COVID, I don't know if COVID shifted the perspective or what we're doing here,
Yeah.
but since COVID, I have always questioned, oh, we're not going to go for it. Oh, we're just playing to have the lowest margin of loss on this game. Like, and if we play like that, no, this team won't be elite. Am I wrong on that one? How are you feeling with that?
No, I agree. It feels like there's no identity. That has been the story of the last few seasons. There's no identity as far as even like, okay, in that 2019 year, we knew we controlled the ground no matter what. Like that's why we had something that we were like, okay, we're gonna rip off 100. One of these backs is gonna have 100 yards, and we're gonna be able to throw the ball when we need to. So there was like some sort of identity. Where right now, it doesn't even feel like we what are we best at on offense? Can you even like? There's nothing that you can point at being like, well, we can run the ball really well. No, we can't. We can throw short really well. No, we have a deep ball really well. No, there's no identity. And even on defense, it's the same way. Like our D line shows glimpses, but then they'll get gashed and not be able to make a tackle. It'll look like a third grade football team out there. And so there's no identity with either side of the ball. We don't have like somebody, even like going into the season, we're like, okay, Coy's the guy, Coy's the man, but we can still get beat deep now. Like we still don't have like somebody in the backfield who are like, okay, nobody's beating us deep. Like no matter what, if we're losing or winning, we're not going to get beat deep because that's not the case. No matter what, whether we're losing or winning, we're going to be able to stop the run because that's not the case. We have to go back to basics and find out what do we do well and get very good at doing one thing well and try to build around that, I think. Because there's no identity. You have to have something to be able to go back and be like, okay, well, we can at least rely on the run game.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And somebody had asked, how do the Gophers fix the road game struggles? I think it ties exactly with what you were just saying. If you have something you can lean into, that's what helps you in the tough moments, in the backbreaking moments. If you're like, okay, we lean into this until something goes right, until we get a turnover, until we get a whatever, we stick to our identity. But it doesn't feel like this Gophers team has one. When we had Mo Ibrahim on the field, we knew what our identity was.
Mm-hmm.
When we had Rashad Bateman and Tyler Johnson on the field together, we knew what our identity was. When Joe Rossi was here, we knew the defense's identity. Like there's been moments where we've known it and we've seen those elite moments, but this team right now, I cannot tell you what it is.
No, even when we have a healthy Darius Taylor, even then we had games where like, okay, we can lean on a 100-yard back, but we don't have 100% healthy Darius Taylor, and we have a freshman quarterback who isn't quite the dude yet to be like, okay, no matter what, we got Drake Lindsey. So that's right. Where we have to find we knew that going in, like we might not have the guys. We don't have dudes at every single position. So you have to either, if we don't have a single player at a position, you got to find a way or a scheme that works for us.
Yeah, some of the other questions that have come through, there's a couple of them all kind of related. One of them said, "Can we get lucky and some other school actually pays to take Fleck?"
Oh,
This listener who had posted a comment here on the lives I can throw up too said, "Can we discuss PJ's future here? Love him, but he's raised the program to a standard I'm not sure we can keep raising. What's our expert analysis?" Here's the deal. First things first, like if PJ were to leave at the end of the season, whether it was a buyout going somewhere else or whether it was fired, this Gophers team would be in some rough troubles, rough seas coming. Because look, you're going to lose this recruiting class, which is going to be with Roman Voss and others. Those guys aren't going to stay committed. You're going to lose guys like Coy Parrott. You're going to lose guys like Darius Taylor. You're going to lose guys like Drake Lindsey. You're literally going to strip everything down to the studs. Let a new coach come in. That new coach, who are you hiring? It's not going to be another power school coach. I bet money it's not going to be another power school coach. So you're going to be pulling like a G5, a UNLV or something like that. You're probably going to pay him a little bit more than he deserves. And then he's going to bring other G5 guys. He's going to bring portal scraps from other teams that haven't been able to prove themselves. And you're going to find yourself trying to reestablish a culture. You're going to find yourself trying to find players and build a system. And like at that point, we could go back to the old ways we've seen the Gophers be, where we're happy with bowl eligibility at this point. Like PJ has raised the standard, and now we're looking trying to get double-digit wins. We're looking trying to get a 9-win season. We're looking trying to be competitive and in that top half of the Big Ten. And games like this make you just question it all. I get it completely. I'm over here irritated about it myself, but I think you start with smaller changes. Like, again, if the complexity of this pro style offense doesn't allow us to play fast, it allows us to think too much, it doesn't allow us to move the actual field offensively, then maybe we need to change the play style or have a change at the coordinator. Or maybe you find different ways to look at it in that capacity. Now, another listener here, whoops, that's the wrong comment. Another listener here had talked about that we don't have the resources basically to pay our assistant coaches. They keep getting poached. That's true. Maybe we put pressure on the AD to get some more money for these assistant coaches so we can field more high level, high producing offense or something of the sort. That's where I think you got to start looking for the change right now, as opposed to like PJ just doesn't get it. Because I tell you right now, if you lose the head coach and the culture he's established, because that's the big thing here.
Yes.
These guys on this team, especially the better guys on this team, they are fully bought into the culture. It's the reason they haven't been poached by the portal so far at this time. It's the reason Coy came back. It's the reason Darius Taylor came back. It's the reason why a bunch of these dudes came here, and the reason they stay, even if they get higher offers, is the culture. And if you remove the coach and the culture, you're starting all over.
Yes, don't mistake when I say this team doesn't have an identity to this team doesn't have culture, because PJ is what you want as a head coach. Like, you don't want, the grass is not always greener, especially when we're at Minnesota. You said it perfectly. Like, we're not hiring like Oregon loses their coach, they hire a Dan Lanning. Like, Penn State's gonna hire some big name team. We're not getting those same coaches here, so the grass will not be greener. Having 8-9 wins going somewhat consistently is right where you want to be. We're not going to find another Kurt Signetti somewhere and flip a program around. So what we have with PJ is exactly what you want. Like, he uses the transfer portal the proper way, and he's picking up guys who want to be here and want to play for the guys next to them. And that's part of the reason why when guys transfer out, you don't see a ton of success from these cats who transfer out of this program. And PJ's not, the kind of guy to, and this, he's not the kind of guy to be like, oh, if you hit the transfer portal, I want you back. Come on, what can we do to stay? If you mention the transfer portal, he's like, fine, I don't want you on this team. I don't care how good you are. If you don't want to play for these guys, then I don't want you to play on my team. And that's exactly what you want in a head coach. Things do look bleak, and it's very easy to have how long does PJ hold out for? But we're still 5-3, and we have, 5 games ahead of us. I think that's a little bit much. The world's not that much on fire yet, because he could rip off a 7-win season and win a bowl game, and we'll be ready to reload our hope for next season.
I mean, in all actuality, you can win Michigan State still. You can win
Oh
Northwestern still.
yeah,
You can
no,
win
there's
Wisconsin.
wins in
That's
front
three
of us.
more wins. That's 8 wins there. You get a bowl win. You're talking about a 9 win
And
season. I know
yeah,
we want more than that. Okay.
yes,
This is our
yeah,
first year with this quarterback. So then on top of that, let's bring in this next class with the Roman bosses and whatnot. Let's bring in a couple big transfers that can see things building up. And then on top of that, you get your quarterback for a second year. We haven't had the same quarterback for 2 years in a row for like
yep,
3, 4 years now. Like, so you get Drake Lindsey, who you see the upside, but there was some tough stuff today. You get guys
yeah,
back like Darius Taylor could come back, and at this point,
yeah,
injuries have been an issue. Maybe you find a really good complementary running back that he doesn't have to take all the work. Maybe you find some guys that are route running pristine route runners to get separation against man defense, which we struggle with completely. And a lot of defenses have gone to play cover one, play man press with the Gophers because they don't have receivers that can separate. So Drake Lindsey has to throw balls that are tighter, balls that could be jumped in the air and things like that. And then when he has an off day like today, you're looking at a horrible result. So overall, we got to start to put those pieces together. But having a quarterback that we can have for the next 3 years is a positive. Having Koi Parachu is here for another year or so is a positive. So it's like you
yep.
got to keep building on that, finish this year strong, and I know it's bleak right now looking at it, but that's the way we kind of got to start to get there, in my opinion. We've got some people throwing in lots of conversation going on in the comments. I love to see it overall. People talking about tired of the culture talk. I get it. I get it. It's frustrating because it seems like a crutch. But if you do blow it up, I'm telling you, like it's a reset. And people might talk about, okay, let's reset then. You're not finding a Kurt Signetti. You're not. Like those type of things happen once in a blue moon. Hell, look at
Look at
TCU.
Wisconsin.
When
Yeah,
TCU hired Sonny Wilkes or whoever, and he brought them to the Natty, and everyone was like, look, look, look. Tell me the last time you really cared about TCU since that national championship game. It was more of a 1 year thing. You haven't heard about him again. And that's what you like. Kurt Signetti is an anomaly. So the fact that people
look
want
at
to lean
Fickle at
into that,
Wisconsin.
right,
Fickle at
right.
Wisconsin. That was a big name hire. And that he was supposed to turn the program around and look at where they're at. I mean, they've had some quarterback issues, but still, like I'm just saying the grass is not greener.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. We appreciate the comments flowing in. We'll do a couple more here before we wrap this one up. This was an atrocious loss, plain and simple. If you heard the beginning of the show, we were not apologetic for this team. Things need to
No.
change. People need to change their best. And speaking of Fleck,
Props to
like, yes,
Iowa.
you and I are both ready for him to continue on, but we got to make some changes here or there. He has to change his best. He can't get stuck in stubborn ways. He has to
Mm-hmm.
make a change at the offensive coordinator or make some adjustments to the play style if it's not working like it is. So that's key. We're not just saying, oh, keep running it back, keep running it back, keep running it back.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
we got to make some sort of changes.
Yes.
But tearing the entire thing apart, I'm telling you, it
Not
will
going to be
not go
good.
well for the Minnesota program. Last couple things we'll throw up here. Somebody said, what's the next step for the Gophers becoming an 8 to 10 win season? How do we get back to 2019? I think those are two separate things because I think the Gophers are still on track for an 8 to 10 win season. This loss was embarrassing. But when we talked about this 3 weeks ago, we said this 4 game stretch was going to be huge for the Gophers season. Now, we lost the Cal game, which sucks. But at the same time, we said that Purdue, Nebraska, Iowa, Michigan State, if you can walk away with 3 wins in that stretch, you're looking at a better season. If you walk away at 2-2, you still have a shot at 7, but the Gophers still have a chance. They won the first 2. They lost this Iowa game embarrassingly. If this was a close loss, I don't think people are taking it as hard. They're still mad about
No.
it because it's a rivalry loss and we've lost a lot to Iowa and things like that. But if it was a 14-17 loss or something like that, we're not seeing it as like the sky is falling as we are right now. But now you have to turn the page and respond. You're at home, which this team plays pretty well at home. So respond against Michigan State. Boom, you're bowl eligible. You got 2 games that you have a real chance at winning, probably should win, maybe favored in both of them to end the season. You take both of those, you're already talking about an 8 win season again here, 9 wins if you pull off a bowl game. So that 8 to 10 win season, it's still on the books right now. You still could get there. When you talk about how do we get back to 2019, that's a big question.
We got to get
That's a big
some.
question.
Some of these guys we got to get some guys. I think we do we got to have some guys step up then be like, yes, I'm a difference maker. I'm a playmaker. And we have to lean on those guys.
And whether it be guys stepping up or whether it be like you just have a balling ass portal class. Like if you
Yeah.
find a way to go into this portal class, people saw what Drake Lindsey could do. Not today's Drake Lindsey, but the rest of the season's Drake
Yes.
Lindsey. They see what he can do and they're like, yo, he can actually put the ball in the money. I'm gonna see if we can run it out here with Minnesota. You get a running back that's like, look, I'm more shifty. Darius is more this. Like the two of us together can be like Montgomery and Gibbs. Like you got to get people with that mindset that can be the difference maker. You go out and you find some dogs in the O line transfer portal. Hopefully, fingers crossed, because that right side of the line, it's time to go. It's time to go. And one thing I'm curious about, I don't know why we don't try a guy like Brett Carroll or try. I know we tried Khalid Tafai a couple times and he didn't do well either.
I was
Brett
going to say
Carroll played
today he was in
one
there.
game. Brett Carroll played in one game, and he is one of the highest graded blocking guys on this Minnesota team, according to PFF. Why don't we try either putting him in at center and moving Beers over to the guard, or put him in at guard and let him learn at guard and start to get a flow there? But it's like clearly that right side of the line, who are both having that this is their last year of eligibility. They won't be back. Why not try some younger faces there? You're already having struggles. So like,
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't start to see that this week. Because I mean, that's what else are you doing? You know, if you're not making those types of changes, like if we go into next week and he's made some of those changes, I would not be shocked.
yeah, I think the biggest way to get back to a 2019 is you got to hit big on a portal class here in the next year or so, but it's also you got to get a dominant O-line. 2019 doesn't happen if you don't have the O-line that they had in that grouping with the John Michael Schmitz, with the
Yeah.
Daniel Falele, with the Blaze Andrews. All these dudes, like they were guys who were here for 4 years, building chemistry, duking it out, big body dudes. Minnesota moving company. You got to start in the trenches. Everything Minnesota does successfully, it starts with the trenches. Because if you want to play this pro style offense, you got to have trench play that can hold up. And they don't have trench play that can hold up. So then the plays can't develop. So then the quarterback is rushed. And then all of a sudden, everything looks like shit. So you got to start with that trenches and getting a really good portal class. And I would say this one this year is just not quite up to par.
Yep. 10-2 is officially dead. Sorry, everyone. I did everything I could to get us to 10-2. I promise I did.
All right. Let's go with one final thought here, talking about moving forward. We've kind of mentioned it a little bit here on the season, but Minnesota has no-showed in every road game so far. You still have 2 road games left. The Oregon one, I'm counting as lost. Don't even mess around. Don't even well, maybe. No, absolutely not. Don't even mess around with it. You saw how they played against a top 10 defense in Iowa, top 10 defense in Ohio State. Oregon's defense is on the cusp of that too. There's going to be struggle. We already see what's happening there. Please respond against Northwestern, because if you respond against Northwestern, you're talking about you could end with an 8-win season going into a bowl game, and I'll take that at this point. As long as you keep the foundations, you keep your left tackle and Nathan Roy here and happy. You keep Drake Lindsey here and happy. Like you start to keep those things together, you get a good portal class, then we can look well. But outside of the Oregon game, how do you not panic against these last 3 games with Michigan State, Northwestern, or Wisconsin? How are you feeling about it? How can Minnesota get right against those teams?
There's no way not to. I have no clue. Do we need to travel earlier? To Chicago? Like that 6-hour drive. Maybe we need to spend 4 or 5 days to get adapted to the Chicago climate so we can play decent. Because I have no clue. These guys hit the road and act like they play as if they just woke up off the bus the morning of the game. Like that's how they look when they come out on these road games. So I don't know how you prep for travel. I don't know how you prep for away, if you got to pump in some more crowd noise during practices or what. But this team looks completely night and day different on the road as compared to at home.
Yep. So first of all, handle business at home. Michigan State's next.
Oh yeah,
It is a team that you should beat. It's a team you should beat. But Joe Rossi's going to come with a plan of trying to prove Minnesota wrong for letting him go and walk out the door and take more money. I mean, let him take more money. I mean, I'd take more money too. But regardless, you can respond against Michigan State. Their quarterback gets frazzled. If you can get this D-line firing off on them again, you can start to see some changes there. But overall, I think you can take the next one. You get your momentum back, you get your juices back. Try not to get slaughtered by Oregon. And if you make it through that, hopefully you can respond in the final 2 games, pull out an 8-win regular season, and you're looking good. Now, one thing I did see earlier, it was tough with all the different comments flowing in. Definitely shout out to all the listeners
Statesburg,
tapping
yeah.
in, all the things coming through. But we got to give a shout out to our Ohio State fan that tapped in. He is subscribed. He is back. He said
My
they're still
God.
learning how to win, finish strong. I agree 100%. They gotta get things together on offense, but overall I think that they can still have a successful season even through the sky is falling right now. Next week's a new week, and if you respond then you can get back on track. You'll already be bowl eligible if you beat Michigan State, and then you got to pull 2 of the last 3.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Iowa. They played well. They played very well. Good for them. With all that being said, I hate Iowa so much. I
Yep, still
hate
hit
them
them. Still
so
hit them.
much. So much.
All right. Well, we talk Gophers once a week, every week, and then we do a live postcast every game as well. So be sure to hit subscribe, whether it be on your favorite podcasting platform, whether it be on YouTube, or you can check the lives on Twitter as well. But that's going to do it for us here at the Gopher Broke Podcast. Hopefully, you'll hit subscribe, and
Oh,
we'll see you again.
also, if you guys need a palate cleanser, Oregon and Wisconsin have probably kicked off, so you guys could watch that. Might make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah. Go watch Wisconsin get another beat down. Until next time, we'll see you then. Brother Boat Sky, Go Gophers, as always.